You know, I just wanted to tell you about your film. This Catherine actress that you have,
Yeah, Catherine Jubila.
she's
Those.
great.
Oh, thank you.
She could hold up a feature without a single word if she wanted to.
Yeah, yeah, she's quite talented. Yeah,
Anyway, I just
and she's
wanted
a
to let you.
screenwriter.
Oh,
You know?
wonderful. Yeah. But no, I feel like a lot of our philosophies here are kind of like coinciding. So yeah, I mean, and that was the thing too. Going back to like the feedback, which kind of started this thing off, is the screenplay I'd submitted to that same competition was about growing up on an island off the coast,
Of me.
not of Maine, not
Yeah,
belonging.
yeah.
It very much wasn't my island. It was their island. And this was read by somebody who's never been to the East Coast, probably.
Absolutely.
Just the gist I got from the
You
feedback.
can absolutely correct. Yes. And so how are they evaluating it? And they're evaluating it probably very well, exactly as their teacher told them to evaluate a script.
Oh, an A+ evaluation from an academic standpoint,
There
maybe.
you go. Right.
Yeah.
But is it but there's a literature issue going on here that they can't grab. My favorite poet is Charles Bukowski.
Mine too.
Most yeah, most literary academics would put him at the bottom of the list. And yet I can tell you that Charles Bukowski has done more for the music and screenwriting world in terms of teaching young people how to write and how to think than any of those other poets ever did. Nobody reads Yeats anymore, but we do read Bukowski.
Hands down, hands down. And I went through that conversation. I did an MFA in writing a couple of years ago at Sarah Lawrence College. Not a single person
That's a good
there
school.
ever read Bukowski.
Wow.
I'm like, does anybody here, not even his novels? And they're like, nah, we don't. He seemed like a misogynist. I'm like, that doesn't matter. He's
Yeah, he
dead.
is a misogynist. Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter.
What
He's
is that?
long
Yeah,
dead.
totally.
But
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, I'm a fucking fanboy. Like the next time I go to
Yeah.
LA, I'll probably go to some of these places he talks about. I've got a first edition post office. Like I am a fan, and to come across all these people who claim to love writing and not have any knowledge of this guy whatsoever.
Well,
It's
the
just,
thing about Bukowski was, and this is why I like him as a screenwriter, is he's absolutely at the core of the truth. That's what he wants, the unvarnished truth. And what's when you look at films even like Barfly, which he wrote for Mickey Rourke and Faye Dunaway,
mhm.
there's no beginning, there's no first act, and there's no third act. There's just middle all the way through. And this is true for his even his novels. I think the first line in Women is later she called me back. That's like the best friggin' first line of every novel I've ever read in my life. Right? There's no beginning. And that philosophy of his life, I understand that. So when you're making a personal film like yours, for instance, you're talking about a slice of life and a slice of time.
Yeah.
And there is a backstory and there is what happened after. And you can use other ideas, but let's focus on what's actually happening in this moment. And that's what I learned from reading the council.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it too. Is why can't we just have more slice of life? Not that I'm not following a format, because I'm very, very brainwashed by film school. 3x, but at the same time, like I tend to prefer experimental work where they are throwing out the. All right, we don't need to end it. We'll just stop it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's very risky. But look at films like Kids. You look at
Oh, kids!
you know,
Gosh.
there you go.